Wales, meanwhile,
Players and officials, stand by.
with a number of talented players, as we know already. Belgium playing from left to right to kick off in their red shirts. Wales playing in black or very dark grey from right to left and defending first up. Belgium in possession. And Joe, well, we saw the very best of Wales last night. I'm sure sterner tests to come than they got in that opening game, but very exciting to see them out there again.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the thing that impressed me the most about Wales is just the core skills. Like the catch and pass from one side to another is just so good for kids this age. And I think often we do forget, like the under-15s, these are kids, and they're able to play touch at such a high level. It's a superb defensive touch there, though, from Belgium, and you know, both teams just feeling each other out early doors. I'm very excited to see Wales when they get loose and start throwing those long balls like they did last night.
And of course, on Visor Watch, one of my side hobbies, we've once again got two referees out here who not only have they shown us their dancing skills, they've also shown us that their headwear and the weather bear absolutely no relation to one another's. We've got a cloudy, cold summer's day, and the referees have decided that a visor is the necessary headgear for such a day. I'd be out there with a woolly hat if I'm honest.
I wonder if we'll see the double visor come out. I know a couple people are suspect to a double visor every now and again. I think you'll absolutely lose your mind if the double visor comes out on a day like today.
Sure, the only circumstances in which I will appreciate the double visor is if they're worn sideways rather than front and back. I want to see wingspan. That's what I'm all about as Wales work their way forward. We saw this from them yesterday, and that man in particular, Williamson, going with real patience. Unfortunately, they're just losing the ball as the touch came in. So Belgium already showing that they've got defensive solidity to work with, and strong facials as they get the pace moving.
Yeah, that one for me right there is just 6 or 1 half dozen of the other. Both people going into the ruck a little bit too fast, and the ball just spills out. But I've got to say, very impressed with Belgium so far. The defensive reads are really good, making good defensive plays. Wales at the moment just rolling through the gears, starting to increase the pace, especially in the transition now.
And I suppose for Belgium, given what Wales did last night, the key for Belgium will be to keep Wales out for as long as possible, just to allow that confidence they probably gained from last night, just to slip away a touch. Big pass comes in but doesn't stick. But if they can hold Wales out for a period of even 5, 6, 7 minutes, Wales are going to start to just lose that little edge of confidence they got from last night.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, I think if anything, Belgium will come into this game more motivated than Wales, because they would have seen the score last night. They would have been like, okay, we've got to be on our A game, we've got to bring it. Wales, on the other hand, will probably be thinking, we did amazingly last night. We don't want to be complacent, but it's kind of hard not to just take a second and appreciate what you did. So, you know, at the moment we're seeing Belgium put loads of pressure up, Indy, really forcing hard touches at the roll ball, and Wales have to work really hard for their scores. A superb covering touch from the Belgian winger, just making a brilliant shot, shutting down the link. If the ball had been slightly out in front of the male link for Wales, then maybe that pass could have gone quickly.
Wales inject a bit of pace, could be a chance here. They dive, but the touch comes in.
So at the moment, Belgium defending brilliantly, closing down the spaces, moving together as a unit. It's like they're all on the same line of string at the moment, not allowing any space to come. And you know, Wales are having to resort to long balls early doors, and it's not necessarily what you want to see. You want to hold the long ball off for as long as possible, and if 4 minutes in, that's, you know, the place you think that you can find the most success in your attack, then I think that's just a testament to good defense, really.
And in these early morning games where there is a bit of dew on the ground, the ball is still a bit wet from overnight rain, is it a little easier to defend in this early part of the day than it was perhaps last night, and as it might be later on today, because you can be that much tighter in the knowledge that the long ball is so much more difficult?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And, you know, for my defence, I would always say defend tight, force them to throw long, because it's just a higher risk option. And, you know, touch is sort of that game of percentages. You want to limit your opposition to the hardest possible chance. And at the moment, that is for sure the long ball. And Wales moving with more directness there, and they're going to get their reward.
Finley Britton with the score. Had a hatful last night, and he's the first person on the scoreboard today. And just to demonstrate that greasiness that we spoke about, just look at how far he slides as he dives in here.
Yeah, it's a really good play. 32 short coming off the back of their transition, getting fresh legs on the field. They managed to do so, and you know that's the benefit you have when you start to run really hard at defences, is you've got people retreating and you're going forward. I know I'd rather run forward than backwards, and you know, Wales get their reward, but Belgium come back. Good hands, and now they're going to have to create something without a touch.
And the ball goes loose, and Wales survive that Belgium attack, and will look to create something of their own with this 1-0 advantage. Do that Finley Britton try just a few moments ago, but the ball squirts loose, and referee seems happy just to let things carry on. Not quite sure what's happened here, but another example, as we saw in the first game, of teams just getting a little over-focused on making their changes, and forgetting that the ball is still the most important thing on the field. Touch has been made. Ref perhaps a little late in sticking the arm out there. There's a lot of confusion out there on the field at the moment. The last 30-40 seconds or so, I'm not quite sure anyone's known what's going on.
Yeah, that one was half caught. The Welsh player had scooped from half, and I don't think the ref had quite picked up on it as quick as the Belgian middle did. He was stood there screaming. He knew the rule straight away. And now Belgium at the moment are, you know, 1-0 down, as you said, 7 minutes in. Very promising. They made, you know, 3 or 4 really solid defensive shots. Maybe struggling to find your impetus in attack.
They got away with a forward pass a few passes ago as well.
Yeah, you got to live right on the line in touch. You do get away with some, you know, in the contact game, what you'd call heinous ones.
What's the point in a law if no one polices it? That's what I want to know. Wales going through the gears here. Nice passing the space. Goes himself instead. Oceanaires with the score, and it's 2 for Wales. And they are proving everyone who saw them last night and expected big things of them right here. They're just looking very, very clinical, very calm and composed when they get into that attacking zone.
Yeah, definitely. And for all the good that Belgium have made in terms of their defence, it's just that transition. When Wales really get motoring in their attack and they're rolling into their attack with a lot of momentum, Wales have found it really, Belgium have found it really hard to defend. And it just makes the Belgium defender's job so much harder, having to retreat against people running forward at you. And if Belgium can start to get some proper attacks at the line, I think they'll find a lot more success.
Belgium throwing some wild passes. They were all working up until that moment, but that one just going down, and Wales get easy meters there. 2 touches and they're already up to halfway. And a chance here to really launch something, but that ball is loose. Just got to be that half a second more careful with the ball while it's just drying off here.
Yeah, definitely. And Belgium at the moment maybe being let off with a couple mistakes. Wales not being as clinical as we saw them last night. Although, with that being said, under a lot more pressure than we saw them last night. And Belgium could be happy with their performance so far. I would just like to say it's an amazing step there. She's got wheels. Can she go round? Feeds off to the winger. Oh, I think the ref's going to pull it back for a fault, for a touch and pass, but that was superb play just to put the right foot step on. Who said a female can't do a male all ends up, because that's exactly what happened there.
Williamson takes it in. Now they start to ease their way forward and back into the hands of Williamson. Enjoyed himself last night. What can he do this morning? They go diving for the line. Cheers go up for Belgium. Their resilience in defence respected by the crowd, but there could be a chance here. Pass comes in, but it was just behind and the touch is made. That pass, had it been just in front of the player, we would have been seeing a third Welsh score there, but Welsh winger Lionel Stevenson just had to check her stride, and that allowed the Belgian defence to get across.
Belgium just try and go down the outside on their transition, but they have been able to get fresh legs on relatively quickly. It's just now this touch has just held things up slightly, losing their momentum.
Again, it's a scrappy roll ball from Wales, and it gives possession to Belgium. It's the one area you'd say of Wales where they've just struggled a little, made a couple of errors there.
Yeah, definitely, and it's very uncharacteristic compared to what we saw last night from Wales. Last night's transition was so slick, although probably didn't have to utilise it as much as they have today. But Belgium, you know, forcing a lot of turnovers. Would like to see them put more pressure on when they get to the line, because it's just these touches in the midfield. They're trying to check off to certain players, but it's maybe not quite the option, as you know, you've not got into that red zone yet. You're not striking in the red zone. The most important thing when you get there, you know, when you're in the midfield of your transition, is just to get the ball down, get your head down, and make those yards, eat those yards up early doors. It's just not quite happening for Belgium at the moment. I'm loving the lethargic spin passes from Wales. It looks so relaxed. Just, yeah, there you are. Yeah, go on, you have the ball, no problem.
That ball just going down, but that's that national characteristic, I suppose, of the Welsh, isn't it? The oval ball is deep-rooted in their psyche, and the intercept coming in from Wales. Finn Keeley gobbling that one up and getting across to their third score. Did well to hang on to it. It was bouncing around in the air, but he plucked it in and raced away for their third try.
Yeah, good defensive pressure, just getting up. The Belgian player knew he had to reel the ball in quick and was probably too busy thinking about the man in front of him to get the ball in his hands and secure. Slips through. Welsh player's hard to react, goes through the gap, and then when you've got a, you know, fresh grass in front of you, it's an easy run to the line.
Six more for Belgium, and a chance here to get on the score sheet. What a difference that would make. Big cheers coming up from the Belgian crowd. Can they take some inspiration from that noise from the crowd just below us here? They're trying to find space. There's not a lot of space on that field at the moment. Wales have got their defensive spacing in such a way that all Belgium can see is a wall of black and grey in front of them, and Wales shut them out defensively. That's a really solid bit of work from the side that's got the lead at the moment.
Yeah, and it was a much better last touch there from Belgium. I just thought that the pass could have gone one further out. Thought the male link was in a lot of space, but you know, if you're the coach for Belgium, you can take positives from that. You've got to the line, you've completed your set, and that last touch looked very dangerous.
Williamson diving through. Has he got the ball down before the touch comes in?
Yeah.
He has indeed. Noah Williamson. Well, I said he was a box of tricks. And here he is, scoring his first try of the game. Wales' fourth. And they're starting to motor now. It was a nice pass from Thomas Priest-Evans. And no one stopping Williamson from there.
No, definitely not. It's a lovely little ghost back on the inside. Looks to wrap around the scooping players outside and then just checks his run back on the inside. Finds the space, goes through the gap, and lovely little dive to get himself over. And Wales now starting to kick through the gears, starting to put Belgium under more pressure. And Belgium maybe just need to find some more impetus in attack. Oh.
Belgium do really well to get the ball away, but Wales do well to get across and make the touch, but it was really nice handling from Belgium.
Yeah, and Belgium threatening the line more consistently, moving with more momentum in their attack. And as you can see from Wales, you know, a couple of hands on knees, just maybe soaking it up a little bit. And Belgium just need to make some of this pressure that they get, you know, the very rare moments of pressure that they're able to sustain. They need to make that count. This being one of those situations, you've just forced a turnover, you know, one touch, get it to the line, and then past that you can just, you know, use those touches and attack at the line. I would have maybe tried to turn that ball over just a little bit quicker, because Wales were able to get fresh defenders on. Now they're set and ready. And now you're at the line, you need to make it pay. Clear structure, clear idea of what you're doing.
Belgium dive. Not quite.
No, good dive, good setup, but you know, Belgium are quite obviously they're trying to dump on the middle, and the link just got up and promoted to stop that from happening. Although they've got both middles up here, they step back, go for the dive. Yeah, ball down, both defenders offside, and Belgium get the reward for their pressure. And the Belgian supporters are loving that.
Finn Keeley with the score, and it's the combination of Keeley and Henri Chantrain that does the damage for Belgium. Yeah. And that's a tidy bit of finishing from Finn Keeley. And Belgium are on the score sheet, 4-1 down, 2.5 until half time.
Yeah, Wales going to look to reply, but no, just commenting on that score, it's the first time we've seen Belgium be able to get both of the Welsh middles up, and in that one instance they were able to capitalise, but Wales come back and reply almost immediately.
Matthew Clatworthy once again showing the advantages of a greasy top on the ground, sliding home for Wales' fifth.
Yeah, Belgium try and defend as a pocket, and you know what I mean by pocket is they're sending a middle to get to the line early to then fly off and get into space, but you know that pocket middle was just creeping across too much, and you know at that stage it's just a foot race to the line. If you're sending your fastest player on the sweeper, which is what the sweeper play is designed for you to do, then yeah, there's only really going to be one winner. It's a really good play to run by Wales to run against a pocket defence, and you know for this age group to have that level of touch knowledge, I think is just outstanding, really.
Working through very nicely here. Slick stuff. As I say that. The error comes in and Belgium will have possession.
It's always the way. I was just about to say that Wales seem to have fixed that transition, but yeah, just off the mark as the refs call it, and now Belgium get an opportunity to run through their own, but 2 touches taken to go to the box, and it's just gone to ground, and they're maybe going to be able to get fresh legs on and set before Wales can roll the ball.
Again, though, it feels like another example of teams prioritising making their changes over the most important thing on the field, which is the ball.
Yeah. I'd always say just never forget the ball. Never, no matter how tired you are, no matter how much you want to stick to structure, never forget the ball. If that ball's not safe and clean, then you've got to make sure that it is. And unlucky that the long ball just doesn't quite stick for Wales.
Just not quite getting the accuracy with that long pass. Otherwise, Stevenson was in for a certain try. She had so much space as the hooter comes in and the touch comes in at the same time, and that's going to send us into the half-time break. Wales leading 5-1, and Joe, we gave Wales the big build-up and they're delivering on that.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't think that they've really, had to try and dive deep into any sort of playbook for their attack at the moment. The basics are serving them well, and 4 scores to the good at half-time is a very good place to be in. But Belgium aren't without the positives. They've made some good yards going forward. We're now starting to see some more directness in attack. Just whether they can sort the disorganisation in defence will dictate if they can get back into this game.
That's a 5-minute warning for the second half.
Absolutely. So at half-time here, it's Wales 5, Belgium 1. Belgium giving a good account of themselves, but work to do. Wales showing everyone that they are just as good as we all thought last night. 30 seconds left to play then, or left until the half-time break is over, I should say, with Wales leading Belgium 5-1. Do stay with us after this one at 10:20 a.m. We move across to the men's under-18s and an absolute barnstormer. It's Wales in action again, and they're taking on the host nation England, so that one is going to be a biggie. But here we are focusing on the mixed under-15s competition. As the hooter goes, Wales get us started, and almost getting us started in spectacular fashion. As Williamson takes control of possession now, hands it on to his mate, Pris Evans. And now gets it back from him, and it's that combination again. It's a killer combination for Wales, and Williamson finishing it off for a very fast opening score of this second half.
Yeah, lovely little quickie. Steps back, just holds the play, recognises it's not on, checks the ball off. Second quickie, slip comes in, but he doesn't panic, just feeds the ball off. Shooting defender comes out the line, leaves the space behind him, and Noah Williamson, the grateful recipient of the pass. And Wales starting really fast, and I wonder if the coach has sort of said, look, we've taken our foot off the gas, we're going through the motions, and that's fine, but let's not give Belgium a chance to get back into this. And it looks like Wales have come out a lot faster.
They certainly have. Can Belgium respond fast? They've certainly got themselves into a position to do so, but that pass doesn't go where it was meant to, and Wales shut them out defensively once again.
Oh, I love the yards, mate. Just pulling out of the touch ever so slightly. Just gets caught at the end, but yeah, Wales seem to start, you know, they've started really fresh. Transition looks a lot better. Fresh legs on at pace, and they're going to have a touch to play with at the line. And things just calm down for a second as they get players in the right position. Foot in the ruck potentially, but Wales react. Good defensive play from Belgium.
Important play that from Belgium. 2 early scores at the start of the second half really would have felt slightly perilous, although with that error Wales have another opportunity to try and find that second early score in the second half. They're certainly going close, with the touch comes in.
I think he should have given the pass there. The 2 players in the corner unmarked.
He just couldn't quite make the decision fast enough, could he? By the time he'd got there, he realised the gig was up. Could be an opening here. They cut back the other way, try and go again. I think that pass is going to be ruled as forward.
Yeah. And Belgium, similarly to the first half, are able to defend Wales. But when Wales really start to turn the screw and roll through in momentum, that's when Belgium really struggle.
Another of the great paradoxes of the game of touch. Forward pass very much cared about once you get near the line, but no one seems to care until then.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those. It's the little nuance of touch. You can get away with it being slightly forward. As long as it's backwards out the hands, the referees don't really mind. But if it's too exaggerated forward, then the refs will be straight on it. Oh, that's a shame, because they'd worked that really well to send the doggy sweeper on the link. They'd exposed it really well, but just run out of touches to run it. But if Belgium can do that with a touch to use, then they'll find lots of space out there.
Wales arriving at real pace here. Sting just taken out of it, so Williamson will try and create something. And they come flashing through, they go diving for the line. Do Pris Evans. Touch came in. Combination again, Pris Evans and Williamson. They run out of touches and Belgium survive again.
Oh.
delayed decision there as the referees were making their changes there, just as the firm touch came in. Another fairly firm contact there.
Yeah, that looked more like a contact bosh than a touch. Both forearms up, ready to bounce.
Neither side messing around here. That pass skew whiff from Belgium, so Wales will have possession. Williamson gives that one to Ross Rossi, and they move it out to Sienna McCormack, and they're just winding up here, Wales. Playing with 5 at the moment, and I think you just saw there Finlay Britton was wondering where his mate was to pass it to, and it just took the momentum out of their attack.
They actually ran a really nice passive line off the back of that then. Arrived into the space quite late, but the Sporting players didn't quite see him. Long ball goes. And that's 6 touches. And Belgium have sorted out some of the problems that they had in defence. They're hitting the line really nicely and getting off it. And it's just a case of if they can actually get to Welsh line and threaten them, because they're just forcing too many turnovers in this transition. And Wales are just able to sustain too much pressure. Wales now having another crack at the line. Sweeper play comes round. Oh, looks for the step back. Option was on. Just not quite happening. They'll have one more attempt.
That Worthy's feet just giving away.
Seen a bit of that this morning, actually.
It has been quite greasy out there. The big pass comes out again. It's just behind the oncoming player, who then has to check their stride and spills the ball, but the defence have been able to come across anyway. If they can just get those wide passes in front of the player, they're going to find that those wide passes become try-scoring passes.
Yeah, definitely. And I'd almost be saying to the wingers, like, okay, so a few times the ball is just behind you or you're having to check your run, so could you just start a little bit deeper for me, and then I'm not going to adjust my pass too much and you'll be hitting that ball at pace. So there's a couple micro adjustments you can make to fix those problems. You know, Wales seem to be one of those sides that are able to problem solve on the fly, so I would not be surprised if we see a couple of those long balls stick throughout the rest of this game.
Another slip there. It is particularly greasy at the moment. No rain coming down, but there was an awful lot overnight.
Yeah, he looks to be in a little bit of discomfort there on the side as well, so I hope he's okay.
Wales trying to dance around and engineer an opening, not quite finding one on that occasion. Trying to draw the defence out. They do. Now they inject the pace. Could there be a bit of space out wide? Looked for the wide pass, went short. Belgium actually did really well. That outside defender not to get sucked in, stayed wide, which forced the short pass that was never quite going to be able to be a try-scoring pass to be the only option. Yeah,
definitely. And, you know, Belgium have fixed their defensive problems for the time being. And it's just if they can get out of this zone, and they just can't quite do that. And, again, some Belgian players trying to sub in defence, which is not what you want to do. And it's just this level of, they're just unorganised at the moment, and Wales are essentially running at 5 defenders, and Wales just give that opportunity away. And that's one of those opportunities that, you know, if you're the coach, you're saying, look, Belgium are unorganised, and on second touch we've thrown a pass that was unnecessary. And you know, considering what we saw last night from Wales, I think, yes, the pressure from Belgium has made a big difference. But those passes that might have stuck yesterday just aren't quite sticking for them right now.
Nice step there from the Belgium 10, Paul Lee. It's back in possession again. use up their 6. But for the first time, really, Belgium had made decent progress up the field since this second half began. It's been all Wales, although they've only got 1 try to show for it. So the Belgian defence has been operating pretty slickly. It's just in attack where they need to just find a way to just hold on to the ball for a little longer.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And Wales maybe not making their opportunities count as much as they did last night.
A little stutter step from Price Evans.
It's little things like that that really kill your momentum. Oh, I think he's got under there.
Did he hold on to the ball at the end? The dive was great. He evaded the touches, but did he manage to keep the ball under control?
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Referees are happy.
Ross Rossi with the score.
What a name as well, by the way. Ross Rossi should be a TT driver.
It's nearly as good as Neville.
The superb little dive underneath, and I was just saying then before the try went in that they sort of killed their own momentum, but I suppose it doesn't necessarily matter when you've got people with pace to burn that can get underneath touches. And Belgium probably feel a little bit hard done by in that instance. They defended the set really well, and maybe just a little bit of lots of concentration just allowed Wales to get in. Is when Belgium are set in their defence, they make really good decisions, really good reads, and it asks a lot of the right questions for the Welsh attack.
Another, what to my mind is fairly blatant forward pass, but everyone's happy with it. And Henri Chantrain goes close, but not quite close enough for Belgium.
Yeah, I feel like this morning we've seen a couple teams now, the South Africa 18s and now the Belgian 15s. Just, a couple fixes away from, really threatening some of the more established nations. Oh, beautiful pace. There is going to be a bit of a race to the corner, but he's got to check his run for the referee, and Wales can go in unmatched.
Thomas Price Evans goes in, ghosts in really, completely unopposed. Belgian defenders almost seemed unaware that he was just coming in like a train. And it wasn't even like he came in from the subs box. He came from out to in, or from in to out rather. But just ghosted away. The 2 Belgian defenders ran into each other, and that's a nice feeling, running one in from halfway and putting his teammate one ahead. Yeah,
definitely, and that's the benefit you get when you run your transition with pace, is you're able to find those little gaps that you might only just make through if you're not, if you're running at 70%. But when you're all out like he was there, you're able to just pick those gaps off. And Belgium now trying to reply. Touch is made and 6 is there, but Belgium completing their sets more consistently. Wales beginning to turn the screw in their attack, and we'll see if Belgium can defend the transition a little bit better.
A reminder that coming up next, England versus Wales. Mixed under 18s, massive game. The hosts against their nearest rivals. And judging by the Wales under 15s, the Wales under 18s ought to be a very good side indeed.
Been hearing nothing but good things about the Welsh 18s actually. Nothing but good things. So that one's set up to be a really feisty affair because, the England boys are always a strong outfit. We've been quite blessed in this nation for a really good touch structure throughout the country, which just, allows these players to develop at really high levels. And unfortunately, the ball just goes to the ground off the back of the head of the Welsh link.
Well, once again, teams prioritising making their subs rather than the ball.
Yeah. That really was one. I'll just get me off the pitch and the ball hits you in the back of the head. You're almost like, oh yeah, that was my job. I was meant to catch that and take that in.
Chantrain has looked like the creator for this Belgium side, but just trying to create in the face of a Welsh brick wall. The About 5.5 minutes left to go. Chance of a comeback really is gone now for Belgium. It's about pride, and it's about keeping Wales away from the try line for as long as they possibly can. Wales, though, with no intentions of going anywhere other than across that try line. They might have found a way. No.
Yeah, Wales will get a repeat set of 6 now. Offside called. Belgian defender made the touch, but just hadn't quite hit the line. And I've got a feeling we'll see some quickie sets here from Wales. They look for the 32. Look long. Really good defensive read from the Belgian link. Just getting up in their passing lane, shutting down the passing option, and then making the touch on the player.
Diving for the line. Goes Fred Deneen. Doesn't quite make it before the touch comes in. Wales are threatening. Deneen again. Now they dive again, and Clapworthy gets the score. Wales is 9th. Clapworthy's 2nd. And how they'd love to get to double figures for the 2nd game on the bounce.
Yeah, that's a good streak to continue, and yeah, it's a really good attacking set at the line. They go through their variations. They run 32 long on the short side, and then run 32 short, which almost gets them to the line if not for a superb defensive touch. And then they look to set up the long, whip it back for the sweeper, and the space opens up. And the Belgian defence is as good as it has been for some of the second half. Just can't deal with those sorts of moves being run at that pace.
Belgium with an attacking platform here. What can they do from it? Just get themselves in a bit of a tangle. So Wales will have the ball back. Time ebbing away here now in this 2nd game of the day here at the Atlantic Youth Touch Cup at Nottingham University. But that ball not going wide. That's where Wales have struggled as they try to get across their box. Players just trying to get home, and because of that, the space is there for Finn Keeley to just race away into empty space. His 2nd try of the game, his country's 2nd try of the game, and all from, again, a bit of a botched transition from Wales, and just no players to fill that gap.
Yeah, he gets his reward for thinking fast, recognises, hold on, these guys are trying to sub. I don't think you should be subbing in defence, and looks at the space, runs through it, and you know, he's been one of the bright sparks for Belgium in this game. Always looks to go direct. In some cases, maybe not the right option, but it certainly was there, and he gets his reward.
Williamson tries to get the pass away and down. Touch came in though. And Belgium survived that little moment. And as much as Wales would love to get to double figures for the 2nd time on the bounce, Belgium, you suspect, will be absolutely determined to make sure that that doesn't happen.
Yeah, definitely. I think this 2nd half performance has been much improved for Belgium's perspective. They run things a lot faster. They've been able to make up ground a lot easier. Oh, good hands. Oh, lovely wraparound. Is he going to go in the corner for his hat-trick? Yes, he is. That is superb play from Belgium, making something out of nothing. The coaches hug. They love it. Superb hands from the winger to recognise that the wrap was on. And those are the scores you love to see. 1, 2, and then it's just a foot race in the corner. And as he's shown, he's got wheels to burn.
Well, Finn Keeley is certainly not giving up on this one, taking the game to Wales, scoring a hat-trick, scoring all of his team's tries. 9-3 they trail. There's not enough time for that comeback. But Finn Keeley determined that Belgium are going to show the very best of themselves here in the face of a strong Welsh performance.
Yeah, credit to the winger in that play as well, because not many wingers are able to pick that up and recognise on the fly. If I just hold my space and pivot, I'm going to put this absolute burner into open space. So it's just really good heads-up rugby, and Belgium now playing with a lot of confidence. And unfortunately, the touch and pass gets given, but you know, this Belgian side seems to be very pleased with their work.
Touch and pass given. The forward pass that came beforehand was let fly though. It was a yard forward.
No, we should get you out there. See if you get upset with a couple forward passes.
Unfortunately, I think if I was playing, my temper would get the best of me with some of these forward passes. Tell you whose tempers are not getting the best of them though, and that's Wales, because they are off to such a flyer here at the Atlantic Youth Touch Cup. 2 games, 2 victories, and 2 dominant performances. It wasn't quite the absolute all-star, all-court game that they brought against China, but it was actually all the more impressive for it, showing control in attack, showing patience in defence as well, to secure a 9-3 lead against a Belgium side that offered plenty against them as well.
Yeah, definitely, and you know, Belgium can take a lot of positives away from that game. You know, when they started to run things direct at the Welsh defence rather than running laterally, they found lots of space, and they've obviously got players with absolute wheels that can